Okay guys, Swiss Moist Delani Python Dinada Sana. You're welcome to this session. In this session, I'm actually going to provide 6 tips for you which will actually help you Python developer. Before I proceed, I would like to apologize for not uploading any video in 3, if not 2 weeks consecutively. I have to acknowledge that I was a bit tight, I was actually having too many things out of YouTube. So what I'm actually going to share in this session is actually the only experience in coding. Is actually not going to be hands-on tutorial like used to do before. So I'm going to share, for you my experience on which tips will actually help you as Python developer. So here on front of your screen, these are the 6 tips for Python developer grouped into two groups. First group is the things your working environment. Where do you work? We could say infrastructure, like it's not infrastructure, but where do you work? Where do you put your code? Okay, as you can see here, there is virtual environment, there is GitHub, and there is a flexible IDE, okay, coding editor. And the 3 remain principle. These are the things you should consider throughout your development. So quickly, I'll jump by explaining the first thing you should consider. As a Python developer, I think it's the best practice for you to use visual environment for installing your packages. In most Linux-based operating system, there is Python 2 and there is Python 3. Okay. Having virtual environment will help you from packages conflict. Okay, let me say you're using the same computer and at the same time you have two Django project. One project is using Django 3.0 and the other project is using Django 4.0 or 4.1. Okay, a different version. So what will actual virtual environment help you is to install these packages in a separate folder, which will help to prevent this the conflicting of these packages. So just that's the tip number 1. Tip number 2 is Git. I have actually been interacting with different developers. When I ask them, where do you keep your source code? They say, I'm keeping my source code in my hard disk. Keeping the source code in flash, USB flash. Does not make sense. It's actually advised that you should keep your source code in Git. Okay. So what you will actually be doing is to push and pull, and this will actually be flexible for you if you are doing a project in a group whereby everyone will be able to to pull after writing some changes on source code and push to pull the changes written by others developer and then to push his own source code. So the next thing the tip number 3 for you is flexible IDE. I recommend using flexible IDE, which will actually help you to debug your errors. Okay. For my case, I recommend Visual Studio Code, whereby you may install different, I don't know, there's a different dependencies which will help you to debug, okay, which will help you to check out the syntax of your source code, which will actually even help you to scan for the vulnerability and identify some potential areas for security improvement. So these are the 3 first tips I would recommend for every Python developers. Okay, I have many years of experience coding Python, and this recommendation should be taken into consideration. So the tip number 4 is to write a readable code with comments. I think this is very straightforward. If you're creating a variable, you can name one, okay? You should have a certain kind of conversion which will actually help you, to read the source code, like name one, name underscore one, name underscore two, something like that. Even maybe if you're creating variable, you can try out to create informational based variable, okay? So if variable stores value for car1, you may just name car1 so as to make it readable for the next developer will maybe be doing maintenance of the application, something like that. Another thing is to check for performance optimization, especially on database. I've actually seen many developers doing big queries on their web application level, okay? Someone can be, querying, and they're trying to do some operation like group by sort on the front, on the web application level, okay? Or someone is trying to join 3 tables at the level of application. So you may actually think on how you can optimize, optimize the performance of your web application. Let me say you want first name and last name from table person, and you write a query select all from table person, whereby first name is full bar. I think performance wise this does not make sense. When we think about performance, you should actually request the only things you want to use, okay? Let me say you want first name, last name. Why do you write a query select all from database? That's not cool. Another thing you can think about how you can deal with database views, okay? And how you can query from views. So if you want to join 5 tables, you may join them and create you may join them and create a view. Create a view in database which join 5 tables, and at the level of your application, you write a simple query, select all from table this, okay? And that in your database view, you have joined maybe 4 tables, 3 tables, and you have only specific columns you will be requesting to query, okay? So think on performance optimization. And the last thing is check for security issues. Make sure you do input validation. You filter some malicious character, okay? Make sure your queries do escape from SQL, malicious SQL, so as you can prevent your web application to SQL injection. Check out for remote code execution. Maybe at the level of your application you call or you're executing command, okay? It's like you have a shell, OS shell, then after you are executing command like ls, cd, cat, and whatever. So when you have something like that, make sure you are very careful to sanitize your input and so on. So these are the 6 tips I would like to share for you. This is have been my experience in Python coding. So what is your experience when coding in Python? Is there any principle or any tip you would recommend for the community? I would like to welcome you. Put your view, write anything below comment section, and we'll be exchanging our ideas. I would like to thank you in 80 different international languages. Asante sana, thank you very much. Muito obrigado. Merci beaucoup. Muchas gracias. Kamza Hamida Aita Danke. Thank you. I hope to see you in my coming tutorial.